Hey guys, so I'm going to walk you guys through how to make my elf tumbler. This doesn't have enough coats of glitter on it, so the colors don't look great, but ours will look great by the end. This is an original design, so I had to hand make my own stencil. And I just cut this out of regular vinyl. I just happen to have a lot of teal around, so I used teal. So you can find this stencil in the Glitter Guide group on Facebook and also in Tumbler Hacks 101. So this is our top and this is our bottom. Our cup has been sanded and washed and dried. So I'm just going to take this off. And I don't really care about the bumps that are going to be in this stencil. All I want is that this top gets lined up with the rim of my cup. So I am manipulating and moving the vinyl around, stretching and bending it so that I can get the stencil where I want it. I don't care about those bumps at all because they're not going to affect what we are going to do. So again, I'm just taking it, moving it around. And same thing for the bottom. You're going to take this point and line it up with the center of this, which is going to be really hard for me to do on camera, so bear with me. And I just pretty much judge by eye now where to put it. It doesn't look straight. And I don't care, again, about these bubbles because that's not going to affect anything that we're going to be doing. So I'm just going to push them down. The best thing for these tumblers, especially if you're going to do your first one, is to take a dry erase marker and draw a line around the bottom. This will help you get a straight line for your, I guess you can say, pants, your yellow part. But of course, I did not have all those supplies on me on hand, and I just realized when I went to make this video. But you would get something the height that you wanted the line. Just put your marker on it, excuse my nails, and draw a straight line, if that makes sense to you guys. I've done it in my pencil tumbler tutorial, so if you guys want to hop over to my pencil cup. So you're probably wondering why my stencil is so short, and that's because I don't love stencil vinyls, but I do love electrical tape. I feel like electrical tape's a lot easier to use for stencils, especially if you're going all the way around a cup. So I'm going to take the bottom and line it up with my stencil, and I'm just going to take it all the way around. I'm going to do the same thing for the bottom. If you had drawn a line like I do my pencil cups, this is when that line would come in handy. But for video purposes, we're just going to tape it off real quick. We're going to go all the way around the cup. It's a lot harder to do upside down than I anticipated. And there we go. Now our stencil is on our cup. We're going to take our paintbrush out of our water because we are using Mod Podge. So we're going to start with our green, and we're going to use Pot of Luck by the glitter guy. And I'm just going to paint all in here. To get started, all I'm doing is glopping it in there because I kind of use these glops as my palette, my glue palette, so I don't have to keep dipping into my jar. I just find it's easier for me if everything's just here. And first layer, I'm just kind of getting it on there. Starting from the top to the center, and then we'll move from the bottom to the center. Kind of moving it around. Now I'm going to wipe off all that excess, and I'm going to quickly get off. And this is just how I do my Mod Podge. You'll find your own ways to do these things. This is just how I've adopted doing it. So I'm just taking off as much excess as I can at this point. I don't really care what it looks like. And then I'm just going to make sure that everything's even. You don't want big mountains of Mod Podge on your cup. So this part you want to do as quickly as your hands will allow because you're going to start drying, especially when you're thinning it out. It's going to dry way faster. I try not to get any glue on the tape, but if it gets on the tape, it's not going to ruin your cup. And there's our first layer. I'm going to take this, I'm going to put it in front of the fan because you really don't want it to be wet for your second layer of green. If the Mod Podge is too wet, then all you're going to wind up doing is moving the first layer of glitter all around your cup in the clumps and have bald spots. It will not look nice. Let's put our green away. Now I have some other cups over here that I have previously started. Let's get a smaller size paintbrush. And next we're going to use pencil by the glitter guy for our yellow. So you'll do 2 layers of green, which our first layer is drying, and then you'll do 2 layers of yellow. Cup got a little messed up, but still will do for the video. So again, just like we did before, I'm just kind of glopping it on there so I can use my own cup as a palette for glue. So now this is important to have a very straight edge on your brush because you're going to use that to fill in these gaps. So you're going to take your brush with glue on it and you're going to go right up to the end. Kind of push it in there so you don't miss any spots and do that all the way around. It looks and sounds tedious, but honestly once you do it enough, it's so easy. I'm doing it slow for the video, but normally I can do it pretty quick. These cups don't actually take that long. You just want to be careful with this part when you're getting close to your edges. And then we're just going to make sure that the rest of our cup has gotten some glue. And then quickly just fan it out, make sure everything's even, make sure everything's still gluey. Not really sure what happened to the bottom of this cup, and we're gonna get our bottom. When you're sprinkling your glitter, I don't really care if it sprinkles on top of the green. It shouldn't really stick to your green because our green should be dry. But if it had stuck, we can just dry brush it right out and it's no problem. So I'm not really going to tap it too much because I don't want to get any green in my yellow. So I'm just kind of lightly tapping it and then I'm going to blow it off. And then we're going to let that dry. Put our yellow away. And then for the top white, we're going to use Dragon Ice by the Glitter Guy, but you can use any ice that you want. I like Dragon Ice because it's got the green in it, like a little green sparkle, and I think that's going to go well with our cup. So this one I like to use a littler brush. And I get these paintbrushes right at Walmart. They're $3 a pack, and they're the best ones that I have used. So our white, we're just going to do the same thing. Just glop it on there, but much less because obviously it's a smaller area. And then same thing, just get your paintbrush up there. This part's super easy. Just very carefully follow it around. Try not to get any big clumps of glue in there. Make sure everything is covered. Now the round part. Very carefully. This is too much glue, so I'm just going to take the whole glob off because I don't want it to go up anywhere else. And there you go. So now we're just going to go around the cup like we've been going and make sure that everything's even. We're doing it as carefully as we can, but also as quickly as we can. You can feel that my glue has already started to dry, which is not a surprise because we had a lot on the front to fill in there. I'm also going way slower than I ever usually go because I want to show you guys how I'm doing this. And then get your glitter on there. And I certainly don't care if the white gets on the green because that's very easily dry brushed out. Now I'm not even going to tap it at all. I'm just going to kind of because I really don't want any other colors to get into my white. Wish I knew what happened there. We're going to sit this in front of the fan and do our second layer of green. These cups are really honestly so easy. You just got to get in there and try it. So we're going to put our white away. Our green has been sitting in front of the fan this whole time, so hopefully it should have given us enough time for it to dry. So just similar to how we've been doing this, we're just going to get some glitter on there, and especially when it's the second layer, I don't even really like to swipe it. So what I'm doing here is I'm just patting the whole thing with glitter, so I'm not wiping anything off, because your cup's definitely still a little wet no matter how. It's still loose glitter, so you don't want to lose any. So I'm just patting it, and we're almost done here. There we go. So now I'm going to wipe off all the excess of this brush. And I'm going to go from one end to the other. Just wipe it off. I know it seems like a waste of glue, but this is just the way. You can also pat less once you get the hang of how much you need. Lightly brushing off all the excess. It's also going to dry a lot slower now because it just dries a lot slower when it's on glitter instead of the stainless steel. More to a grip to, I suppose. Just like the first time. And I'm going to let this sit in front of the fan again because you don't want to pull your stencil if it's too wet. You don't want it to be too dry, you don't want it to be too wet. Do a second layer of yellow, same thing. When you do your first layer of yellow, you kind of have like almost a ledge of glitter to butt up to. But now we're a little higher up, if that makes any sense. And don't really have that ledge, so you just got to be careful, because if you don't get right up to the green, you're gonna have that little spot of no glitter, and you're gonna be able to tell, I mean. Sorry, I'm so close to the camera. This part, it's not for the blind, so it's hard for me to see. Just putting the flat brush right up on the edge there. Wish I knew why the bottom of my cup looked funny, but it's fine. Here's the tricky part, is getting up in here. So now I know I still have a piece that I have to make sure it gets glitter or gets glue at all, but I was just making sure that everything else is ready to go, because then I could just finish that one part and get on out of here. Next we're going to pull the stencil off, the one that we glittered green. I just needed it to dry a little bit before I could show you how to pull the stencil. It's really important to make sure you have a decent dry on your cup before you pull the stencil, or it'll just be a mess. It's all about timing, because you don't want it to be too early either. Or too late, I mean. Too late is definitely what I meant. There you have it. You can see right here, I missed a piece, but you can go in later on after this is dry and fix these. I will make a separate video on how to fix them if you guys want. Nothing here I think is dry enough to show you today, but I believe I do it either in my pencil video or my pencil live. Put this glitter away real quick. So again, that was pencil for the yellow by the glitter guy, pot of luck, and dragon ice. But you could use any ice you want. Really, you can use any white, green, or yellow that you want. Imagination is yours. See if our cup is dry enough to peel our stencil off. All right, well, let's give it a go. So you're just going to pull your little string here that you left yourself. I love clean lines. It's my favorite part of this. So you're just gonna pull straight out. Straight, straight, straight. Straight. Straight and slow because you don't want to mess up your little point here. Beautiful. Beautiful. I love tidy lines. Do the same thing on the top. So satisfying. Just straight and careful on this part so you don't mess up your little bow thingies. Love it. Perfect. So now you can do your yellow and your white. You could paint these with acrylic paint and let that dry for a base color. It's also an option. When you're all done, seal it with your favorite sealer. I like the Mod Podge sealant. I also use triple thick, and let it dry and then epoxy. And you've got yourself an elf tumbler. I will list all the groups below this video. Thank you for watching. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe, join our Facebook groups. I'll list them again at the bottom also. Thank you guys.